Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. So trackies, we are getting closer. Yes, things are winding down. Track and field begins tomorrow, the 1st. Yes, the 1st of August is when track and field begins, but action, surrounding Jamaicans begins on the 2nd. However, begins tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm absolutely excited for the Olympic Games. And this particular topic for me is very interesting. I found it very funny, hilarious actually. So I thought I'd share it with you all so that you can have a good laugh as well. So you all know how Noah Lyles tries to get into the mind of his competitors, right? And tries to rat them, before a race and hopefully use that to, weaken or get an advantage from these particular athletes. Now, interestingly, clearly heading into the Olympic Games, a lot of people are looking out for Kishane Thompson to do absolutely fantastic. And one question that was asked recently to Stephen Francis as it relates to Kishane Thompson is how he's handling this pressure. And Stephen Francis said, hey, what pressure are we talking about? Kishane is facing no pressure, right? And when it comes to mind games as well from the opponent, what, Stephen Francis notices is that Nolas only does that to people that he's faster than. For somebody like a Kishane that he's not faster than, he definitely can't play those mind games with, right? Track is so. That being said, from a Stephen Francis perspective, there is absolutely nothing that Noah Lyles can do or say that will rattle a Kishane Thompson. But track is interestingly, I did hear another take, as it relates to a Kishane himself, because Stephen said he's not going to tell us what he's telling Kishane to do, right? It's to make sure that he calms his nerves once he gets on that start line and runs his best race, right? So he's not going to tell us, and I don't mind him not telling us, right? We don't want the enemy to know what's happening, right? We just want Kishane to turn up and know that, hey, he's focused, he's zoned in, and he's ready, to go. But there's a particular thing that apparently Kishane Thompson does that, in my opinion, will rattle a Noah Lyles. No, incidentally, Noah Lyles has this thing of when he gets to the start line, he will jump up trackies and, scream. And, all the shenanigans that he does, for me personally, is meant to shake, as I said, or rattle the other opponents, get them thrown off their game, right? And of course, not make them, run their best race. But incidentally, as I said, Kishane does something himself, right? Kishane lets out a mighty roar. So apparently, before Kishane Thompson hits the start line trackies, he lets out a mighty roar. Then he goes down in his blocks. Now, if you have a man that is towering over you, the size of a Kishane, let out a mighty roar right next to you, trackies, that will shake anybody. No questions asked. So it's going to be interesting to watch Kishane once he lines up, at the start line, whether it's for his heat, semi, or final, when he lets out that mighty roar, and watch him shake his opponents. I'm not going to lie, trackies, I'm looking forward to this. Absolutely. But trackies, something happened earlier on today. It seems as though Noah Lyles took himself over to the track where Kishane was training. I don't know if this was, Noah's scheduled time to be there. But anyway, track is the both athletes met up. And what happened? Well, guess what, track is? It's the funniest thing to listen to. I'm going to let Wayne recount or give you the account of what happened. And then, of course, I'm going to get back with the rest of my thoughts.
If Kishane Thompson put on a show this morning in training.
What do you mean?
Kishane Thompson came through the training this morning, exhibition style.
Oh.
His tried out were beautiful. His warm up was beautiful. Cliff, it was just wonderful to watch. People sat there and watched the boy work out. He put in a shift this morning that was so impressive. If I were 100-meter rivalry, I'd be running scared. The man is powerful. When he takes off, I tell you, Chris, he's developed something. Just like when Lyles goes to the start for the 100 meters, he jumps knee high to his chest.
Yes.
Kishane has this almighty roar.
Ooh.
And then he goes on his mark. If he takes that into the funds on Saturday, he's going to shake that structure to its foundation.
And he's a monster of a man.
He's a monster. Chris, when he's stripped down from his sweatsuit to his tights, you wonder if this boy is a bodybuilder or a sprinter.
Ooh.
But he was impressive this morning. Believe me, he was. And he spent a lot of time. In fact, he was there for about 3 hours. Stephen Francis said, I don't understand people talking about mind games. Noah Lyles can only play mind games on people who is faster than. This time it is not so.
Wow. Noah
That
Lyles
we will carry.
was
That,
Noah
yeah.
Lyles anywhere near the training ground this morning?
There is a gate to our right where the athletes, when they come off the shuttle from their village, they enter the training center. And right at the edge of the gate, there is a pathway that leads you down the road to the bathroom. Kishane Thompson was heading down to the bathroom. Noah Lyles, out of nowhere, reached the very top of the gate that meets the pathway going down to the toilet. And both of them, Cliff, when we turned around, it looked as if they were going to clash, like they were going head on to each other. And somebody shouted and said, look here, look here. And by the time they look around, apparently Lyles saw Kishane before Kishane saw him. He saw him through his peripheral because Lyles wasn't going to look at him. So Lyles saw him through his peripheral and walked across him. Kishane walked behind him and hugged up Lyles' little girlfriend, Janelle Brookfield. If you see the look on... If you see the look on Lyle's face when he went across, because he went to hail someone while Kishane hugged Janelle.
Yeah.
Now, we were all discussing it, and there were so many... They said a picture tells 1,000 words.
Yes.
They said that moment, right there and then, Cliff, was the Olympic Games.
Good.
The Olympic Games is about Lyles against Kishane, and both of them came head-on right there.
And Kishane hugged his woman.
Hugged Lyles' girlfriend.
Yes.
And he squeezed her. So when...
I love it.
when so Lyles look again through his peripheral vision, this time to his right, because, cross Kishane. Cliff, I am not sure up until this very day if Kishane looked at Noah Lyles. And that moment, it was the dominant feature in our discussion. We left the venue, went to a media conference, and that Lyles Kishane moment, we were all talking about it and wonder how we missed it. We froze when we saw it. We couldn't take up our cameras. And so, if you were following the podcast the other day, where Noah Lyles was explaining to the person who was running the podcast about a conversation he had with his girlfriend about the Jamaican athletes, and say she was giving him updates on their injuries.
Yes.
Good. In that hug, we were reading that Kishane went across to hug Janelle as if to say, well, if she might have told you things and you come back to talk, we're not going to beat her. It's our girls. Or, we're just surmising, because we don't know.
Yes.
Or it could be, listen, she told you things about me that I'm injury plagued. I'm not vexed with her for that, because she's a Jamaican girl same way. Well, so you could read. So another thing that we could read into that, for the first time, Noah Lyles got a chance to be almost side by side with Kishane. So he now knows how huge this man is, and if he ever should draw beside him in a lane in one of the races in the Olympic Games, he know. Put it this way: Lyles left the training complex this morning knowing what massive, it's a colossal Kishane is.
Yes.
If he didn't know before, he had a chance not just to see him, but to see him beside him. It was crazy.
All right, so track is, as you can clearly hear from Wayne, the size difference between a Noah Lyles and a Kishane Thompson is massive. When Kishane was standing next to Noah Lyles looks like an absolute baby. And also, Kishane, played this, game where he was like, okay, you want to act like you're the man. He just pretended he didn't even see Noah, went over and he greeted a Janelle Bromfield, and he went on with the rest of his day. To this moment, Kishane hasn't even taken a glance at a Noah Lyles. While Noah Lyles very visibly saw him, Noah has never been next to a Kishane Thompson, and seeing his size different up close was rattling for a Noah Lyles, right? The shock on Noah Lyles' face when he realized up close and personal just how big Kishane Thompson is, right? How powerful he is. And that's the man that he's going to line up next to. That's the man that's currently the world leader. That's the man that is threatening times that we didn't think we will be seeing in these current years. That man is going for gold, Kishane Thompson, and he is your worst nightmare. Literally, that is what flashed across Noah Lyles' face. And as I said, Trackies, it's going to be absolutely hilarious for me because when I take into consideration the size difference of a Kishane Thompson and then him letting out this roar next to Noah Lyles, Noah Lyles is going to be absolutely shaken. He's going to be shook at the track is, but I'm absolutely here for it because we all know, as I said, that Noah Lyles loves to play his mind games, loves to get into the mind of opponents, and he keeps yapping and yapping and yapping away. For the most part, it works because, as Stephen Francis said, sometimes, he's faster than these athletes. He's not faster than all of them, but sometimes he's faster than the athletes. But one thing he doesn't have on Kishane is clearly the times. And two, Kishane is going to go out there and give Noah Lyles a taste of his own medicine, Trackies, and I'm absolutely here for it. Now, Trackies, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So, Trackies, Noah Lyles and Kishane Thompson had a moment in passing. Kishane didn't even pay Noah Lyles dust or paid Noah Lyles absolute dust in that moment, and Noah Lyles was visibly shook. What are your thoughts as it relates to that mighty roar as well that Kishane will let out once he gets to that start line? Do you think it will shake Noah Lyles? And of course, he will have a taste of his own medicine because he's always jumping and screaming on the line and shaking everybody else. What do you think when a giant like Kishane Thompson bellows? How do you think it will affect a Noah Lyles? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video, of course, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.